comes strapped down in several locations. So the first step is you're going to unstrap the tree. The truck has 1 hour before it needs to leave. So the first step is unstrap and load the tree onto the street so the truck can drive off of the property. So you'll see here that we measure from the base of the trunk of the palm all the way to the tip of the brown. This is what is known as a brown trunk height, and this is standard measurement on the West Coast. On the East Coast, they go to a clear trunk height, which would be to the base of the fronds, which is right here. There's approximately a 2-foot difference between clear trunk and brown trunk. Since we're shooting on the West Coast, we're going off that brown trunk measurement. And if you look at the tape right here, you'll see that this is a 10-foot tall date palm. If we go back here to the root ball, we're gonna check the measurement of the root ball. Come here. So this root ball is a 3-foot root ball. And we send anywhere from a 3-foot to a 4-foot root ball depending on the size of the tree. This tree is a little bit shorter at 10 feet, which is why we chose 3 feet. But if it was taller, around 25 feet, we would choose closer to 4 feet. At this height, the extra root ball is not necessary, as the majority of the dirt will simply fall off the sides. And that's why we went with this 3x3x3 square root ball. This is what's known as the fronds. You'll see for this 10-foot brown trunk date palm, the fronds are 13 to 14 feet long, which is as tall as the brown trunk and the root ball of this tree. So when you get a 10-foot tree, it's actually closer to, let's say, a 24-foot tree. You're gonna wanna leave this tree tied up for at least 2 months and until you see the meristem extend from the center of the palm.
Start by excavating a 4x4x4 hole.
At the base of the palm, you want to ensure that the ground is a little bit textured and that the roots don't need to penetrate hard dirt. So as you can see, we've loosened up the dirt so it's easy for the palm to sit in the dirt and let the water soak into the root ball. Now that the palm tree is offloaded from the truck, you want to ensure that the size of your root ball matches the size and depth of your hole. So as we measured before, 3x3x3, this root ball is about 3 feet. Double check, make sure that your hole is at least 3 feet. And the top of this hole is deeper than the 3 feet, so we're good to strap up the palm, lift it, and place it in the hole. It's always better to over-excavate the hole rather than dig too small of a hole and have your equipment on standby. In this case, you can see that the width of the hole is appropriate. However, we excavated too deep. In this case, we are going to measure from the top of the root ball to the surface level of the nearby dirt, and we're gonna backfill that amount. To excavate the palm to the appropriate depth, to ensure the survival of the palm and the maximum health of your palm tree, you want to put the root ball 1 inch above the existing grade. So in this case, we have about 10 inches from existing grade, and we are going to put in 9 inches of dirt. Now that the tree is set to the appropriate depth, the first step is adding sufficient water to the base of the tree until the dirt is like a slushy. We want that dirt to allow the roots to permeate into the ground and also to fill any air gaps in the root ball. So my first thing that I'm doing is putting on the water. We're going to want this to run for several minutes before we backfill. At this point, the depth of the water is appropriate to start the backfilling process and to start setting our tubes. We're going to leave the hose going the entire time during this process to ensure there's sufficient water during the plant. The tubes are a very important part for the installation of a palm tree. These deep water tubes allow water to enter deep to the root ball to prevent roots appearing on the surface of the soil and maximizing the health of the palm tree.
This is the starter formula that we use. This is Desert Empire Palms' secret to keeping our trees healthy and happy. It contains a lot of beneficial nutrients that support the tree in the times of extreme stress during the transplant. We use it by adding 2 ounces of concentrate to about 3 gallons of water. Mixing that up a little bit, and we add it to the hole when it's about halfway backfilled, all the way around. This chemical application reduces transplant shock, resulting in the leaves staying green despite the trauma of being dug out of the ground, and allows them to start growing again to their full potential.
At this point, we've already added all of the fertilizer that we need. We have our tube set, we've halfway backfilled the palm, and now we want to ensure that we don't cover the existing irrigation system, and now it's time to tie in our deep water tubes to the existing irrigation. You can see here we have the existing irrigation supply exposed, not covered, and it's going to simply enter our deep water irrigation tube through this hole on the side. The construction has progressed to show you a little bit more of what it will look like. If we get a shot of the top of this tube, you can see the bubbler inside of it.
For this area that we're working, and the type of soil we're working with, this is the appropriate amount of water to have in the hole before you finish backfilling. So now we can begin backfilling the hole to the final grade. In areas that contain more clay and have a slower rate of drainage, we recommend putting less water in the hole. Finish without standing water. So if you have a slower rate of drainage, then you want to have less water in the hole when you finish backfilling.